What key life experience have formed who you are today?
I think 9/11 was really one of the things in my life that kind of shaped or changed, the trajectory of my entire life. The patriotism, of our country immediately afterwards, and I graduated high school and just felt it was my time to, step up and do my part and served. And then so from that, I mean, there's just been an incredible amount of experiences that have shaped who I am today.
So how did you become passionate and involved in your city?
I was looking at different master's degrees, and I was kind of between like a master's in public administration or business. And I kind of thought, having the background that I had, I feel like public service or public administration would have been a better route. And so I started doing that. I started getting engaged with, reach out to people in the city, people that, had jobs that I wanted. As I was getting closer to the end of my degree, I wanted to start using it. So I started applying for different, boards and commissions for the city. I ended up on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and just learning all about how the city gets developed, how it goes from like a general plan to growth areas to zoning and to into the how it all gets shaped. I just saw a need for I feel like our city's changed a lot
Yes.
since I've been here in 2011, and I feel like the elected leaders need to reflect what our city is, and so I decided to step up and run for mayor.
What are your core values and how are they reflected in your work?
I read a lot of Stoic, philosophers, courage, temperance, justice, wisdom. I think those are things, but I think, throughout my life experience and professional life, I've boiled it down to a few things that kind of drive how I approach things, which is from the Army. It's be, no, do, right? Be a leader that people want to follow, know your job, be an expert, and then do what you have to do to accomplish whatever you're trying to do. That's one value of mine. I think deeds, not words, is another one. I read when I first became an Army leader, a sergeant. I think there's different ways you can develop yourself as a leader, and one of them is self-develop. Instead of just talking about it, you're trying to do. And then just attitude is everything. How you approach things with positivity, positive self-talk, infectious enthusiasm can really, I think, change the outcome of whatever you're trying to achieve. So
why do you think our city is a great city?
we have so many great residents just doing amazing work that people truly care, between, nonprofits, between our educational institutes, public schools, private schools, charters, even the Ottawa University, churches, just everybody really, really cares and is in it to make our city the best that it can be. And it's pretty humbling to have this role and then see that.
What projects and activities have you been involved in, and why did you choose to be involved in them?
I think ultimately for me, it was about building consensus. One of the very first things I did coming in as mayor was review our strategic plan, our council's strategic plan. Through that, it's public safety, transportation, economic development, arts, water, and government transparencies. So that strategic plan is really the projects and activities that drive my effort and energy.
How do you collaborate with the groups and individuals in order for you to realize that the work is impactful?
Connecting to residents is a key pillar of my administration. It's important that we connect, we listen, that residents feel that they're heard. I mean, I think there's a lot of mistrust in government, and anything we can do to build that, I think just even being in office, I think builds that, because I'm just a normal guy. I didn't have any special, background, or I didn't come from money. It's just, I just, wanted to step up and do my part, connecting with residents. I host a lot of different roundtables, just listening to all those different groups.
What other creators who focus on other causes, projects, and activities have influenced you and where you are?
These folks and their passion and their effort and their energy that they put in is just inspiring. So, I get to lead the meetings as mayor, but then to see what they're doing, it really kind of helps bring that clarity to what we're trying to do. Because there's so many different things going on in the city, but for them to be willing to step up, for them to be willing to put their time and energy in, and for me to see that and appreciate it and just support them.
What do you recommend that someone does if they're wanting to become in a position like you?
I think enjoy where you're at in your journey. Enjoy the journey. You can get wrapped up in trying to achieve this or trying to do that, but I think if you can take a pause just for every once in a while and say, look, this is what I get to do. This is what life has, these different seasons, and I think if you can recognize that and just appreciate where you're at, I think goes a long ways. And then also not to be afraid to take chances. I tell people, they're like, how do you do this? I'm like, well, just relentless effort.